Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning.
Dick Nichols just flying around the world right there.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I heard my name called.
He's got a green screen in his office, so it makes it nice. Good morning, Sochi.
I'm so excited because with my new computer, I have a big enough processor that I can use the live screen videos, which means I can do a virtual tour of an open house and have it play in the background and tell
Oh, no, that's
what
cool.
you're saying. I'm excited about that. Oh, look at you just smile like that and with there it looks fantastic, but really Zoom is.
I used to have video ones. This is the only video one I have.
Yeah. But it's fun to use Zoom, but it lets your mind. Oh, you got your twin brother behind you. Okay. But anyway.
And I do this one when I have questions in seminars.
Yeah. But really, Zoom is a powerful tool in our powerful arrow in our quiver as far as marketing in real estate. There's so many things you can do with it.
This is true.
Have fun with it.
You gotta have fun with it. One of my favorite things is when people get to know me and they realize you're weird as shit. You're right, I am.
Right. I'm pretty weird myself. I'm glad you said that.
You gotta be weird.
I ordered an orange suit and Amber ordered her banana suit, and that's how weird I am. And I can't wait to do this little this little thing we're gonna do.
But if you have an orange suit on, you can tell everybody, aren't you glad that you called me?
Exactly. I call it not a publicity stunt, but a publicity stunt. How about that?
Well, you don't want to be a secret agent. Look at now, Mr. Larry is out there and he's just switching around. That's a beautiful background you got there, Larry.
You gotta have fun. Gotta have fun with it. I think, Kelly, you're onto something with your orange suit.
I even added to it because yesterday you said it is the ripe time.
Ripe time, yep.
That's gonna go on there.
Yeah, but if you use your banana suit, make sure that you spell Chiquita right.
Don't spell Chiquita right because you get sued. Well, it is 8:01 this beautiful morning, and I'd love to hear the awesomeness that's happening in your week so far. It's Tuesday, which means, damn, how can we have awesomeness on Tuesday? Well, you can, because you had yesterday, and Monday is your great days. It's Purple Shirt Tuesday.
Yay!
Got Larry, Robin, Kelly's purple sweater, but I'll count it. I bet Mara's got something purple on. Kyle's got something purple on. Kyle does have something purple on. All right. Yesterday we talked in depth about the creation of if you could, would you situations, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is interactive. This is the best part of your morning is being interactive. It's like going to the gym and staring at the weights isn't going to do very much. You actually got to do something. So, who made phone calls yesterday and had those conversations? That's Kelly did. Ooh, yeah. 1 out of 12. It's not really good odds. It's like 8%.
I had a good phone call with the owner of a house that I'll be listing in the near future. That's down here. I think I talked about it the other day. So she'll be probably around 250, but really nice 4-bedroom home here in the Gulf Links and Kolb area. Very well kept, and looking forward to this one. It's going to be a good one.
I like it.
I had the phone call about cost sheet and what the seller may potentially net. It's her mom's house that she's been living in and finally is too old to not be living on her own anymore. All that emotional stuff.
Right. Absolutely. Bless you. That sounded like it hurt.
We had fun for the weekend. My wife kept trying to figure out more ways to spend my commission, which was, to me, really earth shattering. I don't know if anybody else has that problem, but the spouse wants to spend everything you make.
So I heard once, very misogynistic, but we can change it up. It's a successful spouse finds someone who makes more money or makes more money than their spouse can spend.
Oh,
A successful spouse on the other side finds such a person. So the saying used to be, a successful man makes more money than a wife can spend. A successful wife finds such a man. But I really believe in the equality these days, where women are able to make far more than men because, well, let's face it, you're more creative than we are. I would have never thought of an orange in a banana suit. So Kelly, you got that one. So
I need to retire my husband, so I have to pull out all the stops.
That's a beautiful why right there. That's a big anchor of why you're going to do something, is retire your husband. So that's awesome. So today we're going to continue our conversation around listings and how do we get more listings. Yesterday we talked about how to create situations with people that may not have ever even shown signs of wanting to sell their house. However, the desire to upgrade, change something, make a move in the market may create those relationships with potentiality. The thought of, if I could, would I? You could buy a house right now, right? And you could tell people, based on what you're spending on your home now and your credit card debts and all this stuff, you could pay it all off, get the equity, and keep your monthly payment lower than you're currently putting out right now. So have those conversations, create opportunities. Now, next, what do we do to get us to sit down at the table and talk about it? Right? What questions can we ask to really open the door for us to sit down and have a formal, it's a key word, a formal listing presentation? And sometimes your formal listing presentation is just you guys talking over drinks and stuff, but the intent of the conversation is about the listing, is about selling the house or potentially doing so in the future. Right? What question can you ask? I want to throw it out there. What question would you ask somebody you've talked to that may have given you a seed that can grow about selling their house, where you can set up a formal conversation?
What price would motivate you or get you excited about selling your home?
There we go. There's one. What price would motivate you to sell your home?
I think the one is like, if you could get a bigger house, so this one, and stay in around the same payment. But
Yeah, these are great questions. They start the conversation to give you a seed, but how do you move from getting them to go, $500,000? Okay, great. How do we move into setting the appointment to sit down and discuss? You guys are thinking it.
What would you like to have in your house that you don't have now?
Again, a pearl, it opens the conversation up. But Larry, how would you take that to the next step and get a formal sit down?
When would you like to get together to talk about?
Like I said, you're overthinking it. Great job, Maura.
Let's get your house sold.
That's the thing, is I want to break this down to simplicity. Right. Simple is sexy, right? The ease of use, the Apple. This is definitely not more capable than an Android phone. You know why? Because it doesn't need to be. It's simple. It's for simple people to use. No offense if I called you simple and you have an iPhone. I'm just saying that's how they were designed. They were designed to be simple. They were designed to be easy to use. You as an agent will get more volume if you become easy to use.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Cindy.
Sounds like we need to meet. Is tomorrow good for you?
There you go.
4 o'clock.
Hey, Cindy, it really sounds like this is something we could talk a little bit more further about. You know your schedule better than I do. When's a good time for us to sit down, maybe over some coffee, or I can come to the house and chat? This week or next week?
Yeah, this week is good. I'll be home like around 5 o'clock tomorrow.
5 o'clock tomorrow. I've got that open. I'll see you then.
Great. Bring the happy hour with you.
You got it, girlfriend. Don't be afraid to take some beverages with you. Just saying, this is your business. If your business happens to have a bottle of wine involved, just saying, or a soda or two. Dick, you had something?
I always say my place or your place, and let's talk about how to make some more money.
There you go. So the questions we ask are simple. It's all about what's the next step. We don't want to overshoot, right? Let's take this back to an analogy everybody can understand. Do you know what the cake is going to taste like? By licking the box. No, God, no. Jennifer's like, I wish. Freaking tried it. Didn't work. It's okay. But you have to follow the steps, right? If you don't follow one of the steps right, what happens? It may or may not come out right. So if you skip a step, you put yourself at risk of losing the entirety, losing the end result. So what's the next step, right? Let's create the conversation. That was yesterday. We're creating conversations. We're creating conversations. I want you guys to remember that. Creating conversation. Not having. You are creating conversations around real estate. And it could be as simple as posting on social media. If you could change anything about your house, what would it be? And whoever likes, comments, or shares that post, you need to reach out to personally and have a conversation with. Because they're engaged. And people that don't, if you get light engagements, because they don't care. I put a motivational post up, I got like 27 likes. I put a picture of me from middle school up, I got 127 likes. Okay, right? Different engagement series, right? It was just weird. But we want to create the conversation. Now, today we're going to focus on having the next step, which is taking a conversation and making an appointment. Sit down and formalizing some plan. Does that mean that we're going to be selling their house in the near future? Not always.
Not necessarily.
You know, I've done listings, like I've got a listing now that I've been working on for 2 years. They're like, yeah, we want to sell. We just don't know when. Well, out of the blue, she texted me, what was it, 2 weeks ago? I was visiting mom at the hospital. I just walked out. She called me and said, hey, I've got a friend in town that's trying to buy a house and they can't find anything. Do you and your team have anything? It was because her friend bought a new house that it really motivated her to be like, you know, I think it's time for us to get a new house. So the conversation came back around about listing her house. So it created a conversation, and now I just had to formalize it. When can we sit down and discuss? When can we get together and have a formal conversation? So the question is simple. Don't overthink it. If you see the opening in the box and you're like, you know what, now's the next step. When's a good time for us to get together and chat?
So if I can share real quick.
Let's do it.
I actually signed a listing last night, and it was from last year. I met him at, sorry, hold on.
Was this guy?
I met him at an open house, and actually turns out that he works where my husband works. So we kind of, had a little connection there. So, but we didn't list last year, but I kept in touch with them throughout this whole year. And he emailed me on Friday and said, just out of the blue, and just said, okay, I'm ready to list. When can we talk? And I emailed him back and I said, how about tonight at 6? So we did, and we set an appointment for yesterday for the appointment, and we signed the listing agreement last night.
And how much of the conversation when you guys met was actually about listing the house, and how much of it was about having, about their life and their family and their goals?
We spoke about why they were listing now, and and what their next step is. So, and he already made up his mind he wanted to list. So one of the questions we asked was, other than price, what other questions do you have for us? And then we took it from there, and all they had were questions of, the process and what to do, what not to do, and all that.
Sometimes people have made up their own minds. They just need you not to talk them out of it.
Yeah. It was just about finding the right time for them. because they actually had only been in this condo for 2 years, a little over 2 years. So last year was only 1 year, so it wasn't really worth it for them to move just yet. But now the market, you know, we know what kind of market we're in, so now it definitely, he can definitely make it worth selling.
Would you believe me if I told you that there's a majority of people out there that don't know that their house has gained 14, 15% equity in the last year?
Yep.
Would you believe me that the mass of people that don't watch the news don't know what's going on in the housing market? The people that have been in their house for 5, 10, 15, 20 years that just pay their bills, move on, soldier on, and then one day they'll just make a decision to move and then they'll do it because nobody's ever told them. So we need to create those conversations and have sit-down appointments. And I want to have formal conversations with people because we don't ever want to be in limbo, right? We don't want to ever have to define the relationship. Well, what are we? Are we just talking? Are we hanging out? Are we dating? No, I want you guys to have formal understandings of what you're engaging with. And it's having a business. Like you can have a very friendly conversation and say, hey, let's get the business out of the way. You want me to sell your house or not? Great. What do you want to list it for? Fantastic. Let's put it on the market next week, 2 weeks from now. Okay, great. Boom. Then go back into business, pleasure, go to fun, have an engagement. But it all starts with asking the question, when's a good time for us to get together and talk? Can you do it right there on that phone call? Yeah? Is it as effective as setting a second future date? Why do you think not?
You're not face to face.
What's more effective, face to face, or hold on, just hearing their voice? Hey, Mara, it sounds like it'd be a good idea for us to get together. Let's get together and talk. Hey, Mara, let's talk about selling your house. Blah, 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 right? I'm very like non-emotional because you can't see my face. There's no change. That's why we try to have you guys have your cameras on this call so I can see your faces. But if you can't, it's okay. Things happen. But when you're having meetings, you can do face-to-face, in person, like do a coffee or go to happy hour and discuss it, or you can go to lunch and talk about it, or you can bring them to the office and have a meeting in the conference rooms. But it all starts with, when's a good time for us to get together? Is this something you want to do now or later? And pick the now and later. Now could be this week or next week, this month or next month, this year or next year. If somebody says we want to sell our house next year, when do you think they're, statistically going to actually sell their house?
6 months.
Traditionally, if you look at it, it's half of the time they say. So if I were like, Frank, I want to sell my house in a year, and Frank follows up with me in a year, what's going to happen?
You already sold it.
How many times in the car business, Frank, did we call people that bought cars like days before we called them back?
Yep.
No. Call me back in like a couple of weeks. We're going to buy a house then. Okay, great. Call them back in 2 weeks. Oh, yeah, we bought something last night. It happens in the housing world too, right? You know what? We're thinking about buying or thinking about selling our house maybe in the next 5 or 6 months. Great. Call them every month. Hey, Mara, I know that you said that you were 5 or 6 months out. I wanted to get together with you as soon as we could to sit down and give you a game plan on what to do so that when you're ready to sell, it's just like flipping a switch. Is that something we can get together this week or next?
I'm just not really ready.
Well, that's okay. Mara, that's the beautiful thing about getting prepared is it's never too early to get prepared. You said this is something you wanted to definitely do in the next 6 months. How's it going to feel when you have everything in place so that when that happens, it's as smooth as glass?
Yeah, the house is a mess. I'm just not ready to have you over.
That's okay. We don't have to do it at your house. When's a good time for us to get together and have coffee? On me, of course.
Maybe next week.
Okay. Earlier in the week or later in the week?
Early.
All right, Monday or Tuesday?
Tuesday
Okay. Well, what time works best for you on Tuesday? Morning or afternoon?
afternoon.
Around
2.
perfect. 2:15. You want to do the Starbucks over by your house? Or do you want to hit up the Dutch Brothers down the street?
Starbucks is fine.
All right. I'll see you there at 2:15 on Tuesday. You see how that worked?
I know we're talking about sellers right now. Is that the same rule of thumb with buyers? Because I'm having a situation now that she's asking a lot of questions, but she's saying, I think I'll be ready by December. I don't think she has all the information that she needs. And I have small conversations here and there. And I do have an appointment tomorrow to sit down with her. And that's why I want to get the information out to her and see where the meat and potatoes is of the conversation of where she's coming from and what she needs to do to prepare and if she's actually ready now or next year.
The appointment is the appointment, period. Buyer, seller, renter, does not matter. You want to have a sit down formal conversation so you can get a lot of information out and flush out a lot of objections. You don't tell the doctor a whole lot of stuff on the phone. You tell them probably too much in person. It's because it's the professional in the position you're in. So when you're having a buyer consultation, it's no different. If you're spending your life, Nicole, I hope you're on this call. She's not, dang. If you're spending your life driving people around, looking at houses, and you're getting the pieces to the puzzle as you're going, are you making the best and most effective use of yours and their time? Absolutely not. You want to sit them down and have a formal conversation, one that is geared around helping them make a decision. And it does not have to be a right now thing. I had a buyer consultation with a lady and her husband from, oh God, a year and a half ago. They fell off the wagon, COVID hit, her business suffered. She just reached out to me like 2 months ago. Hey, I think we're getting ready to get back into the search. I haven't heard from Mickey, who was the lender I was working with. I was like, great. When can we get together and sit down and kind of go over what's changed? Right? Even though I've spent an hour and a half with a buyer consultation a year and a half ago, I'm still going to redo it because stuff has changed, right? I've got to reset expectations. Am I going to push them into making a decision today? Absolutely not. Sunshine's like, yeah, I am. Like, yeah, you're going to buy something right now. Sign right here. Here's the contract. You ready? Just sign. But there's just some people you don't want to push into it because they're not ready to make a decision. You can feel that. But I'll tell you, you will lose more business not asking for those appointments than you ever will asking too early. Be excited about the process. Be excited about the journey. Kyle, when's a good time for us to get together and discuss this? Well, I'm not ready to make a decision. I'm not looking for you to make a decision right now. I want to make sure you have all the information you need to make a well-informed decision. Can you guys all say that sentence? I want to make sure you have all the information you need to make a well-informed decision. That will pretty much shut down any of the, well, I don't want to buy right now. I'm not asking you to buy right now. I'm just making sure that you have all the information you need to make a well-informed decision. Again, you need strong inferences. And I actually use the word we a lot too when I talk. Because when I speak we, I speak of myself and the team. We're here to help. We're here to make sure that you make a well-informed decision. And that being said, if you're going to make a bad decision, you're going to make a well-informed bad decision. People usually laugh at that, just like Maura just did.
You wouldn't have like, sign a contract or anything right there, right? In that first.
Depends on the conversation.
Depends on, okay.
I don't go into any of my appointments or anything like that. I would ask you not to same. Don't go in with an agenda. Because you don't know where the conversation will take you. For my agents that have been on a little longer, have you been surprised by any of your clients?
Always.
Yeah.
You go in thinking one thing and all of a sudden you're like, what, 3 listings? Are you in 2 different states? Right? People will surprise you. If you're just there to help with the one buy, you may miss out on the entirety of the picture. If you're sitting there focused on just the aunt and uncle buying a house, you may miss out on the cousins that need to move in town and their family that needs to move in town and the husband-in-law that needs to move in town, and you're missing out. So go in there open-minded, have conversations, and create more opportunity. Create those conversations that you can follow down the rabbit trail. But it all starts with open-ended questions. What's your goal? What do you want to do, right? But getting them to sit down with you is one of the most important things you can possibly do, because then you have a real, like, tangible environment that takes you above the rest. Hi, this is Dan at ABC Realty. Oh yeah, you want to see the house? Hold on my way. Let me put some pants on. Right? Pop-Tart agents. How much of engagement do they have? You went, drove across town, opened a house, opened the door, walked them around, showed them 3 bedrooms, closed the door, high-fived, and left. And you're in your car and you're like, what was their last name again? Now let's take that same situation. ABC Realty, this is Dan. Great, let's get together and we'll talk about it. We can meet just down the street. There's a Starbucks. You spend 30 minutes with them at Starbucks, asking good questions, writing some stuff down. You get to the house and you instantly know that this house is not going to work. And you tell them, hey guys, based on what you told me, this house doesn't have this and this. I do believe there's one down the street that works. I looked it up on the way. And you go show them that house.
You know, Dan, you're right. Another thing point I would make is that if you don't treat your own time as valuable, this buyer will think your time is not that valuable and they'll just waste it. And you can't recapture the time. So make sure that everybody knows that you are a professional, your time is valuable, and that you want to meet them. If they can't spend 30 minutes with you up front, you don't want to do business with them.
Yeah, and that's just going to save you in the long run. I've talked to so many agents in the last year that have gotten into business that told me that for fun, they used to go to open houses, used to go view houses for fun. How many of you fit that profile?
That's me and my husband hobby for Sundays.
Just saying. You waste agents' times.
No, I don't go to open houses and I don't waste time. I just go and see houses.
Just saying, but that's if you went to open houses and you went and saw houses, if you weren't an agent, right, you'd be wasting someone else's time. You have no intention to buy a house, right?
Did you take a free bottle of water? Did you get a free pen? You cost that agent money.
Right. And that's the thing.
Shame on you.
How many people are going to be put off by you asking for a formal sit down? Right? If they're serious about buying or selling a house, they want to have somebody that's serious about helping them. So don't be afraid to sit down and say, let's have a conversation. You can meet me at the office. For my females on the call, I hope that you put this in your business practice, because I do not want anything to happen to you. To the guys on the call, it's not that I'm not worried about your safety, but the statistics are not in your favor in this situation. People do dumb shit. There are evil people in the world. If something doesn't feel right, don't do it. If you don't know who they are and you haven't met them in a public place before ever meeting them at the property, don't do it.
I was gonna say, isn't it smart just to not even show them properties until they're qualified?
That's what we're talking about. This is all your business. It's your decision to do what you want with the business. So setting them down and having a formal conversation allows you to talk about those points. What's your time frame? Are you pre-qualified? Have you talked to a lender yet? What steps have you taken to find out what you need to do to be able to buy a house?
You know, Dan, there are 3 steps to being pre-qualified. 1 is to be pre-qualified for a mortgage. 2 is to sign an agency disclosure. And 3 is the agency contract before I show any buyer anything. And that's it. If they refuse to sign, to commit their time and effort to buying a house, whether it be today or 6 months down the line, then why would I want to do any business with them?
That's a serious conversation, people. Appointments, appointments, appointments. Now notice when I talk, I never use the word appointments though. When's a good time for us to get together? When we can sit down together? When we can get together over coffee? When's a good time to chat? I don't use the word appointment in my conversation because it's a negative term. Just like I don't say why all the time. We say what's important about instead of why. It's all in what it does to create emotion. When you talk to somebody, hey, Robin, when's a good time for us to get together? Her brain's thinking about a good time for us to get together. Hey, Robin, would you like to set an appointment? Hell no. I was talking to my mom the other day about this. She's like, son, you need to go get a massage. I tweaked my back at the gym and she's like, you need to go get a massage. I was like, you know what? I called up Massage Envy, the only place I really trust, and said, hey, do you guys have any openings this afternoon? No, we don't, but we can set you an appointment throughout the week. No, I'm good. Full well knowing that I can move my schedule around at will. The fact that somebody wants me to set an appointment with them still, and I'm a sales professional, I won't do it. Unless I can say, yeah, I want to Tuesday at 2:00. Well, we don't have any openings. Okay, sorry. Then you're not going to get my business. I guarantee if they just said, hey, when's a good time for us to get you in? We have openings on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in the morning or afternoon. What works better for you? If they'd have gone through that same path, that same, mental gateway, what's a good time for us to get together? Okay, great. Thinking that way. Okay. Morning or afternoon. Okay, great. Thinking that day. This week or next week. Okay. Thinking that way, right? Not me going, when's a good time for us to have an appointment? When would you like to set an appointment? Right? No. So think about that. When you're getting time together, it needs to be formal, but knowing how to set the appointment is important. So yesterday was creating conversations. Let's go out there and create some conversations today. I would love to hear 5 of you having an appointment set. Getting some time on the schedule to sit down and talk to potential buyers or sellers. I really want you to focus on sellers because I know that if you focus on sellers, the buyers will come. And have formal conversations. It may be a listing you do 6 years from now. It does not matter. As long as you have your foot in the door, your name on the refrigerator, and you are in the hearts of the people that you're servicing, you will find that business. I think Dick Nichols says it best is if you just do business with 1% of the people that you know, you're going to be okay. It does not take much in this business. All you got to do is get lucky. And the harder you work, the luckier you'll get. So happy Tuesday, my friends. Go out there and kill it. I will see you all in the morning.